Let's get one thing straight. My name is Jaycee Dugard. I was kidnapped by a stranger at age 11, and I want Philip Garrido to know that I no longer have to keep his secret. I was happy.
She is 31 years old. She looks impossibly young.
I know, I was worried about should I wear heels.
She is also someone who laughs a lot and has delight in ordinary things on ordinary days.
Oh
you
my
drive.
God, I do drive. I drive very safely.
You would never know what she survived.
Oh, my pine cone?
Unless you notice how her face changes when she speaks of the past. And the charm around her neck. It's a pine cone.
Back then, it was the last thing I touched. You know, the last grip on me. Now it's a symbol of hope and new beginnings, and that there is life after something tragic.
She's in the 5th grade and remembers worrying about the field trip coming up because she's so shy. Remembers dressing in her favorite all-pink outfit. And she remembers the mom she absolutely adores had to leave early for her work as a typesetter at a print house and didn't keep a promise.
She said that she'd give me a kiss goodbye. She didn't. I wasn't mad. I just, thought I'd catch her when I got home, tell her, you got to give me a kiss next time, She walked up the side of the hill. It was the safe way to go against traffic. And halfway up, my world changed in an instant. I thought, oh, somebody's looking for directions.
A gray car pulls up. A man rolls down the window.
Because what else would it be? And his hand shoots out, and I just feel numb. My whole body is tingly. I don't know what it's from. I fall back in the bushes.
She had been paralyzed by a stun gun.
I lost control of my bladder. I wasn't even embarrassed. No time to be embarrassed. I remember my throat felt very dry and scratchy and like I had been screaming, but I don't remember screaming.
The man behind the wheel is Philip Garrido, a convicted sex offender, supposedly monitored by parole officers and doctors. Holding her down on the floor is his wife, Nancy. The district attorney believes Nancy scouted this little girl for her husband as a prize.
After we were driving for a while, I heard the driver say, I can't believe we got away with it. And he started laughing. I think I blacked out again or something. It was like the most horrible moment of your life times 10.
Blanket over her head, he walks her through a small area of grass toward a fence where an opening is concealed by a tarp. And hidden behind the fence, a deranged collection of sheds and storage units, which the people monitoring Garrido would not search. One of them, tiny, completely soundproof. He leads her inside and takes out handcuffs.
He said that they were the fuzzy kind, so they wouldn't hurt as bad. Whatever.
Behind your back?
Yeah. There was a pallet on the floor, and then he said he'd be back later. And he shut the studio or the soundproof door and then the other door with the lock.
You heard that
lock? Yeah. I can still hear it consciously or when I'm awake. Just some sounds and smells and this don't leave you.
He warns her one window covered with bars and a towel. He leaves.
At one point, you write, you get up and you take your teeth and you pull a towel off.
I wanted to see where I was. Yeah. I couldn't use my hands. And there was just weeds and some kind of fence.
Naked, in handcuffs, she drifts in and out of sleep.
Crying?
I didn't really want to because then you can't wipe them away. Then you get all sticky and then later it was just listening to lawnmowers and airplanes, anything for human contact, I guess.
Pretty, young, innocent child.
Friends have been searching all day and evening.
Police started searching the neighborhood.
Police set up a roadblock and go door to door. Her classmates are out in the streets holding up signs.
And it's time that she comes home.
We would always sit on the porch and we would debate whether the full moon or the crescent moon was the better moon. I always liked the full moon and she liked the crescent. And just always made me think of her. I depended on him for bathroom, food, company.
You had no water, toothbrush?
No.
Toilet?
No. No toilet.
What was the toilet?
Toilet was a bucket. Well, it had handcuffs on, so it was very difficult. So
She forces her into a shower with him, and she's never seen an unclothed man. Again, she's just 11. It will be at the end of that first week that he brings her a milkshake.
comes in with the milkshake, and I was getting used to him coming in. But he said things were going to be different
This time?
this time.
She is still in handcuffs the first time he rapes her.
I remember crying, but they were silent. Just tears running down my face.
Spirit real high. I'm overwhelmed. This is more than I can ask for. Give me life. This is going to bring her home. I know it.
Usually started out with, he would dress me up for hours because he was taking methamphetamines and speed. He called it speed. He would get focused on one thing for long periods of time. And then it usually went to him with his little books of cutouts that he would cut out for hours and paste on little girls from magazines and porno magazines. I mean, it didn't make sense to me at all, but that's what he did.
And then
He would apologize and
That's the confusing part.
beg your forgiveness.
Tell me what an awful man he was, and here I am trying to, feeling, hurting, because it hurt, wanting it to stop, and I have to comfort him.
Come up
It's
with
the
some-
unknown that would always be more terrifying than what I knew. After, I got used to I don't know if you ever get used to that, but you can get used to things. Once I got used to that, it would be the unknown thing that was more terrifying than actually keeping with the runs and doing something that was, at least I knew what was going to happen. It's when he would invent new things, and
And all night long you would think that's what he was going to do to you.
I begged him, I'll do it better, I'll be good, because it was the unknown that was terrifying.
Did you think it was going to be the rest of your life?
It sounded like it.
And
There was not a day that I didn't cry. I felt like there would never ever be a day that I wouldn't cry again. And then after a while I told myself I can't cry anymore.
What's the most haunting memory?
That lock, hearing the lock. I know I said that earlier, but for some reason that. And the bed, it was a squeaky bed. Squeaky pull-out bed. I guess the noise, the sounds. It's weird what sticks in your head, but sounds. It's just, you just do what you have to do to survive. Thinking I have to hope in something. Hope was in the wrong place. But sometimes you just have to hold on to any kind of hope to survive. I was so lonely, I craved any kind of attention. I wanted her to like me.
Because
Because I felt like if she doesn't like me, then I'm going to get in trouble.
Jaycee remembers using the cartons from the chocolate milk to try to make furniture for her Barbie.
Nancy starts bringing me meals. There's a TV over there, so I could watch TV as long as it was low.
she told you she was sorry what they'd done to you?
She told me that she cried too. In some ways, she's just as manipulative because she would cry and say, I can't believe that he did this. I wish he would have got a headache that morning that he took you.
And she knew everything.
Yeah, she knew everything. Everything. You know, she's just as evil as Philip. Very twisted minds.
Twisted.
Okay. Does it say record still?
Yes.
Good.
Remember the video obtained by the prosecutors of Philip Garrido playing his guitar? Again, he is a convicted sex offender supposed to be monitored, at times even wearing an ankle bracelet. But here, he is singing at a children's playground. And holding the camera, his wife Nancy, who will furtively move it off him away to gather secret pictures of little girls playing.
You got me real good?
Yes. I can see you really good.
Very jealous of me for some reason. Like I wanted her husband to rape me. Very jealous. And sick.
A whole month. He's gone.
Yeah, she said that he was on an island with a friend, but he was actually sent back to prison.
For failing a drug test.
So it's the two of you.
Yeah. She would lock us in every night. She wanted to watch this scary movie called The Unborn. It was awful. It was very scary. And then she would leave in the morning and lock the door.
When Garrido happened to notice that the little girl had signed her name, Jaycee, on that journal,
I actually wrote my name, and I tore it out when he saw it.
Because he said you had to.
Yes. And that was the last time.
the last time for 18 years she'd be allowed to write or speak her name. Losing her name and fighting to hold on to the memory of the face that is keeping her alive, her mom.
I wanted to see her more than anything.
And worried you'd forget.
Worried I'd forget what she looked like or what she sounded like. Would she forget me?
Would she want you after this?
Yep. Being a mom now, I know that she never forgot about me because I can never forget about my kids. But, when you're a kid and you think you're easily forgettable.
And her mother, Terry, is also fighting to hold on as 1 year passes, and then a second. She's alone except for a couple of her friends who will quit their jobs to help her. On TV, she shows Jaycee's room untouched since her disappearance. It's where Terry says she goes to pray every night.
Even though she's not here, she's still in my heart.
And when 34 months have passed, 1,029 days since Jaycee Dugard was kidnapped, the handcuffs occasionally come off, but she's still always locked in a bolted room. One night, the Garridos are with her. They are watching the 10 Commandments on TV. For the first time, they bring her cooked food, corned beef and cabbage. It's Easter, 1994.
And then they tell you they think you're pregnant.
Yeah.
4.5 months pregnant, 13 years old.
Did you have any idea what it meant to give birth?
No, I had never seen it happen. There was this show that he would talk about a lot, Growing Up Baby or something like that. So I'd watch that, and he was watching birthing videos and just learned.
And he said that he would read up on it and he would do it?
Yeah.
She makes
1994, you're how old?
14.
Having a baby in a backyard.
Yep, I did.
She is locked in, alone, watching Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman when she feels the first sharp pain.
You're in labor and there's nobody there.
I didn't know I was
You're
in labor,
locked up?
but yeah, I was still, locked at that time. Just scared. It was terrible pain. Didn't know what was going on. Hadn't seen anybody all day.
She will be in labor all by herself for hours. Finally, the Garridos return. They give her codeine. The labor continues for another 12 hours, and with a complication. The baby is still inside her. Philip Garrido uses his hand to unwrap the umbilical cord from the baby's neck.
He had seen that on one of the shows, that's what you do because she wasn't coming out. So he did that, and she came out, and then I saw her. She was beautiful. I felt like I wasn't alone anymore. Had somebody that was mine. I wasn't alone. And I knew I could never let anything happen to her. I didn't know how I was going to do that, but I did. I have a second person to love and to love me, and maybe another little piece of my mom to hang on to. I wanted to see her more than anything. Every day, in the beginning, like I said, I would cry every day and be hardest when I would think about her and what she was doing, and then trying to convince myself she was better without me. Easier, you know, she had Shayna, but I wanted her.
Finally, when she's a young mother, Garrido builds a fence, walling off the entire backyard. He gives her a little tent outside. She writes about the first time she can walk outside. I can feel it, the sun warm on my face. And experts who write about survival say nearly all those who make it find some way to create meaning in the reality of their days, amid the trash and squalor.
You planted
Yeah.
little flowers.
Yeah, I like to garden.
This was your garden?
Yep.
Even little flowers inside the tent. And then the girl who once loved books and stories decides for her girls to create a little school.
We had math, social studies, English, and history was the other one. And I would teach them the best I could. I only had a 5th grade education, so my math wasn't my strongest suit.
In a secret act of defiance, she saves little scraps of paper and begins writing a journal she manages to hide from him. Sometimes it still sounds like a child.
I would live in my own world, and I would have superpowers, like the power to heal people and animals.
Sometimes she wonders if out in the world there could be a soulmate for her.
The physical abuse was all I knew.
But
Things that I saw on television were so different. And, you know, I mean, I don't know.